Good evening. It's Friday, the 17th. It's Happy St. Patty Day, and happy St. Patty to you all. I hope you all are enjoying your meal very nicely. I'm Bob Pace. I'm your host, and here we are to fight CPS and stop taking our children. This is Bob Pace, your host, and stop taking our children. Um, Making sure my phone is on and so forth. I want to welcome a new YouTube member, Stephen Bustista. And you joined, I think, at about 5:42 this evening. So you just a new member there. And I want to welcome you out, a warm welcome to hear about what you can do about your CPS case. Um, it's a hard thing to be faced with. There's no question that something has terrible happened, because it happened to my family too. My family was very much attacked by CPS. They're very bad. There are a lot of rogue ones. And what I wanted to do was tell you all that in this 1 hour presentation, I'll try to cover as much as I can and answer your questions. Now, there's several ways you can interact in this live stream. One way is to take notes. Another way is to show emojis, such as smiley faces or things like that. Um, Hearts, and also you can give me stars. That would be great. I love to have those. Now, if you want to follow, please follow me. Check the follow button. And also, if you want to be notified when I be on, please check that button. Now, we have people coming in already, which is great. I want to welcome Liliana Feliciano and Misty Livingston and Margaret. Okay, I recognize you, Margaret. Thank you for being here. And the Livingston Ministry, I do recognize you. You're have Mr. Davis as your attorney. How did my situation get resolved? If you can refresh me, what situation is that? What situation is that? Now, I do want to, because my computer's acting up, it erased a lot of my communication banners. I'm missing the one that says you can email Grace to be a guest on my podcast. I've repaired some of them, but it's so hard to type on my computer because my computer is just slowly dying. I don't know how much longer it can last like this. But hold on 1 second. I keep getting. Why is that guy coming on there? I don't understand. Hold on for a second here. Things are just flipping on and off. I don't have that. I don't know why it's even starred. It should not be there. Okay. Let me calm down and try to work as best I can with this computer here. Okay. Now, I was able to get the text in a question. Okay. Okay. Um, Livingston is from California. He has retained Mr. Davis, and I'm trying to understand the situation. Oh, my CPS case. Did I not tell you about my CPS case? I thought I had told you that. That started in 2010 and it got nasty in 2015. And we lost our daughter through, through a terrible retaliation by a social worker. It was terrible. My CPS case is closed, but it was closed with my two boys returning on the 17th, 2017, in December. But my family is still broken up, meaning that some of my family members don't want anything to do with us. It's like I've helped raise 6 children. I've been married for 42 years, 42 years experience of marriage. So I have a lot of life skills. But CPS can be very complicated. Yes, I've been fighting them for 15 years because I've been sharing what happened to me with you and helping out with your cases too. So it's sad when a social worker lies on the stand and then convinces a 12-year-old, very naive young girl, not knowing what she's doing, and has to divorce her family, her brothers, everybody. And on top of that, she changed her name. She sealed her birth certificate. She says, I was no longer born to mom and dad. And then she got a new birth certificate, put her foster family on that, and now she thinks that's her family. So, what did we do for 12 years as a family? What did we do to deserve that? I just remember all the times in Girl Scouts with her, AYSO soccer, all her performances and plays and things and everything else. I remember all that. And anyway, my case is over. I do talk about my case to help other ones so they don't have to go through it. I do that. Um, well, I've been fighting CPS for 15 years. 5 years was nonsense. They would come to my house and they would say, there's something wrong. You're not paying your utility bills. You don't feed your kids. You don't put clothing on them. Every week, a layperson would call in once a week from Ohio to California and make up stories that weren't true. I found out that layperson was my in laws. My wife's mother, father, her 3 sisters, and her brother would call and stake a claim that we weren't taking care of our children. Now, I was struggling. I had a lot of issues myself. I'd lost my job through no fault of my own in 2010. I needed help. I certainly did not need a devil of a person to be a persecutor. If you want to know what the devil was, that was my in laws. In laws family, incorporated. They've been after us for almost 32 years, ever since I met my wife. They did not like me marrying my wife. They wanted to adopt her kids and take her kids away. Now, we're not perfect parents and we have problems ourselves, but we're working them out. But we loved our children. I can't remember the trips we'd take to Vancouver, Canada, or to Brazil or Portugal or around the world. We took our family with us. We never had a date in 31 years. We had one date in December, and that was at the Balboa Pavilion at a company dinner. But every time we go out, we take the family to Disneyland. I bought year after year Disneyland passes, and those are expensive. They're now, to get a family of 5 is going to cost you like $15,000. And it's hard when you lose your job. So it is hard. And yes, I do sound angry about it. But the case is bad because I think about my daughter, our daughter, my wife and I, our precious daughter. It really is, it is so bad. It is so bad. Yes, Vincent Davis was my attorney. I had to quick sell my home, my beautiful home at Surf City, USA. It was a beautiful home, and some of you are experiencing the same thing. Some of you experience the same thing. So Livingston, Vincent Davis did help get my two boys back, but I hired him too late. If I knew about Vincent at day one, what I would have done is not talk to the detective, say if you're going to arrest me or give me a ticket, to give me a ticket. I should never have been following him to go home. I should have continued to pick up my wife. I was with my son I picked up from school, and we could have gone some other place while they sat there and stewed in front of my home. I lived in a private neighborhood with CC&Rs. You can't do anything to our home. Our home was not that bad. It was not that bad. They had 5 firemen out there seeing if they could find something that I violated a fire law. Our smoke alarms worked fine. Our fire extinguishers, we had more fire extinguishers than are required. I could go on and on and on, but it was a bad system. The child protection system in Orange County, California, is one of the worst agencies around. And I know that I've talked to over 1,000 of you, and you will agree that your CPS case was bad. Some of you did no reason, and they would not give your children back. They did not do family reunification. They stole your child. They alienated your child. They punished your child. They hurt your child. It is a hard thing to deal with. And I'm trying to tell you, you have to be careful. Rule number 1, get an attorney. Rule number 2, do your documents. Rule number 3, say no to social workers or police. Don't open the door. Don't let them in your house. Don't give up your child. Watch out the medical trafficking, because now social workers work in the hospitals and urgent care, and they will take your child. It isn't safe out there. They're supposed to protect their family from neglect and abuse. That means if you sit there and hit a child, excessively throw them against the wall, shake them, that is abuse. Neglect is when you don't put clothing, don't take them to school, not supervised, or anything of that nature. Now we have a new person here on YouTube, and my show producer was trying to put them up on the screen all the time. The problem is it blocks all the information I put up on the screen. I was trying to take it down, and I guess there's some mixed signals there. But anyway, if you have a question or a comment about CPS, when you do, please show me your first name, your city or county, state, and country. Yes, I mean country, because we are internationally around the world. Also, please tell me about your CPS case. Now, I have someone here called Liliana Felicio. You've not talked to your twins for 2 months. Can you tell me more about your story? Also, I don't know where you're from. It's all right. Mentally, it is really, really hard sometimes to bear your show there. Quick question, Liliana says. Let me see here. Quick question. How to know I spoke with you a couple months? I mentioned my twins being taken away. I'm from Liliana from Houston, Texas. Also, today is my twins' birthday. And I wrote to the people where my kids are at. They don't even respond. I spoke to an attorney because, like I mentioned, CPS took them and violated my rights. Also, they never appointed a court date, and they closed the case way too quick without letting me know something. I'm just so emotional because I'm hurting. I want my kids back. I know, Liliana, how you feel. Believe me, I know how you feel. That's the sad part about CPS. That's the sad part about CPS. Um, yeah, when you have a court appointed attorney, that's the worst nightmare you can ever do. Um, and today, I'm still trying to fight with my family. It's ruined our relationships with all my family. It's a hard thing to do. Um, it's a hard thing. CPS is a hard thing to deal with. There's no question about that. I know all of you are going through emotional times. You have to understand CPS is not your friend. They're not friendly, they're not transparent. They will steal from you, they'll retaliate from you, and your kids will be hurt in foster care. Mark my words. My first night, my three young children that were trafficking into foster care were at a shelter, and they weren't even supposed to be taken. They weren't in danger, they're in school. But they thought that these parents were too much in danger and they risked of being hurt physically or neglected. Now, they each had their own room. They all had food. They never once went without food or clothing. And they did well in school. They're getting A's and B's. I had one boy in a private school, one girl in a middle school, and one boy in an elementary school. These were good schools. They never missed a day of school. The girl was having some problems because emotionally something was bugging her. So I'm telling you, you have to be careful of the CPS entity. I call them the child protection system. And when I said I've had so many of you, I've had over 1,000 of you call in and talk to me. 1,000 of you have called in and talked to me. Over 1,000. And from countries from Indonesia, from Bangladesh to India, to the Middle East, to Libya, to Saudi Arabia, to Africa, to Liberia, to Sudan, to Rwanda, to Mozambique, and then to South Africa, several provinces there. Then up to Europe, England, Scotland, and Wales, and Sweden and Denmark. Across the pond to Canada, four provinces there. In the United States, all 50 states have texted or called in. And then on top of that, I've had the District of Columbia had a case there, a really bad case of a mother who, went through an awful time. I've had Mexico south of the border. I've had Grenada in South America. Then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand and the land down under Australia, two states there. So it's a well diverse of people. And again, I am so happy to have you all in here and share what I can. You know, Liliana, I'm glad that you've come into the room. You're the first one to come in the room. And I'm sorry about your babies. I'm sorry. You're from Houston, Texas. And Livingston Ministry is USA, and he has Attorney Davis as attorney, and from California. He's from California. And Margaret is uh, coming to see Mr. Davis this week. And she is a grandparent, and her grandkids are not, she's not able to see them. She's not knowing how to see them. Now, I'm going to put the new member, Stephen Bustusta, and I welcome you. I have no idea where you're from, but you're welcome to talk in this room. I try not to block my messages, but that message there, it can deal without it. Okay, it can deal without it. But I want to warmly talk to you and see what you'd want, Stephen. Um, Now, my case started off with a court appointed attorney. I was dumb. What I knew now would never have happened. My kids would never have been taken. My family would never have been there, and my home would still be standing. I lost everything to CPS: a home, my children, a marriage. I can't go on. The list is a mile long. And I start off with a court appointed attorney because I thought I don't have money. I lost my job in 2010 through no fault of my own. My income that was paying for everything was gone. And I had to put my family on a Spartan lifestyle. No more chips, drinks, sodas, cookies, all the stuff that was a lot of money. No more season passes and no more going anywhere. It was terrible. I thought it'd be a short term thing. I thought for sure I'd get a job because at that time I'd worked already for 45 years. Now, I'm a dinosaur now. It looks like we got somebody that's going to come in to join our podcast. Oh, good, good. I'm going to bring them in um, as soon as they're ready. I don't see them yet. Oh, yes, I do. I do see them. All right, I got a guest tonight. Hello there, guest.
How you doing,
And
sir?
this is True Royal.
Yeah,
Glad
my
to meet you, True.
hi. My actual name is Kimberly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
It
no, no,
says
no, no, no
True
problem, sir.
Royal there. So
Yeah,
boy.
that's the name of my channel.
Well,
Um,
welcome to my live stream.
uh,
And
I've been
I have no idea where you're from or about your case, but you can go ahead
okay.
and start talking about it.
Well, I'm in California, um, and I'm near Oakland, California, but the case that I'm fighting is in Fresno. And I've been trying to get my 4 grandchildren for the last 2 years, and it's been a hell of a battle. I did get an attorney, and it's not working out well at all. Um, and my back is so far up against the wall, I don't know what to do. I mean, our funds are depleted. And to make it brief, because I know you hear these things every day, and I have been listening to you for a while. Um, my daughter gave her children to just gave her children to a lady that she knew, that her children went to the same school that my grandchildren went to. And what CPS did down in Fresno was allow this lady, while she had my 4 grandchildren, she was not even a licensed foster care parent. They allowed her to, while the kids were physically living there, for her to go through the whole process. So my husband and my ex-husband and I faithfully went to court for the last 2 years. One thing that they knew about this family: we will not miss court. And I think that they're sick of us. And eventually, us getting the runaround, we realized that we was going to have to get an attorney, and all, because they just been just given, just, what I found out about dealing with this whole thing is I have lost faith in the system. Being nice, being polite didn't matter. And to make a long story short, the CPS worker, what happened was, when we were getting our house prepared, we got fingerprinted and all the things that we were supposed to do, got the beds for the kids and all. When we got fingerprinted and all, we knew that my husband has a criminal record, and we knew that that was going to come up. You can't hide that kind of stuff. Okay, so when in Alameda County, when the CPS called us, they said we have to let Fresno know what's going on. And we said we knew that was going to come up. Okay. The crime that was committed was over 27 years ago. And based on what they looked at, they said it would be something that they would do an exemption on. It was no big deal. That's how they made it sound. To make a long story short, we're waiting for the CPS people in Fresno to do their job. I didn't hear anything. So when I called the CPS in Alameda County, she said she received an email from the CPS worker in Fresno, and he said that he had a conversation with me on the phone that I was in agreement of giving up my grandchildren. And I said, I never had that conversation at all. So when I called him, he insisted that I had that conversation. And I said, I did not have that conversation. I said, I've only ever talked to you twice. The first time I talked to you was about the safety of my grandchildren. And now this is the second time I'm talking to you. And I said, you're talking to an African-American woman, and it sounds like you're putting my grandchildren on the auction block. This is awful how y'all treating us. I said, we have been respectful. We have let y'all do us horrible, and we just take the continuous abuse. Finally, I just unloaded on them because I was shocked that somebody insisted that I had a conversation with them that I did not have. Well, one thing that I did, sir, was I kept all of my notes. I wrote down everything. So I knew that I was going to have to approach an attorney. So when I went back to court, when the attorney was supposed to be on via Zoom, they would not allow him to come via Zoom. When I went back to court the second time, they would not let the attorney back on again. They did this a second time. They gave guardianship to the lady who has my 4 grandchildren and all. So then I did the JV 180 and all, and they would not mail it to us, and I had to demand for them to mail it to us. They were going to deny us. It's like I get sabotaged every step of the way, and I've literally lost faith in the system. I was thinking about reporting CPS down in Sacramento, but I said they're not going to help. Nobody helps. Everybody's slamming doors in my face. And the thing that's astounding was when they said that it was nothing new that I had put in the JV 180 that I put out. This lady has taken my grandchildren out of the country. She has had my grandson steal passports from his mother. She has my granddaughter taking showers with her daughter. I can go on and on. I have a video where her 16-year-old son is forcing her young daughter, and my youngest grandson have a fist fight all over the house. It is astounding. And we're treated like we're some outside people, and we're blood family. And so the last message that I got was, since the CPS worker said, since me and my husband did not speak to him in the lobby, that we're to see my grandchildren ever again. And so I haven't seen my grandchildren since November. I haven't talked to them or anything. And I'm gonna have to go into therapy for this. I'm not gonna give up or anything. I'm not gonna let that we're flat broke even stop me from that. But I don't know. It's horrible that people are treated like this. They don't believe in unifying families. I've been sitting back just listening to you, and I cry every time I get off listening to another person. It's horrible how people are treated, sir. It is horrible. And we never tried to make ourselves out to look like we're perfect people, but we're decent people. We got the house fixed up for the kids. My husband won't even give up. He keep buying furniture for the kids and just getting the house prepared for them. They got brand new beds and all. And I don't know what else to do.
Well,
all I know to do is fight.
Yeah, I really admire your strength to come onto the show and talk about your case. You're one of over 1,000 people that have talked that have something similarity. You've run into what I call as a rogue child protection system. It's a child protection system that's interested in making money at no cost, at parents' expense. They get $20,000 per child per month. They get incentives. President Bill Clinton signed into law in 1994 that says the CPS will be rewarded by the federal government if they force the children into foster care and adopted in foster care, because they say family reunification takes too long. That is not how we're supposed to do things. I mean, it's sad because that's what I remember about Bill Clinton and that 1994 law.
Uh-huh.
And right now there is a thing called Doge. It's
Yes.
it's an agency that the new president Trump has created, and
Mm-hmm.
he's put one of the richest men in the world who doesn't need a salary,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to worry about whether he have a food on his table or whatever, to investigate the government, because the government has a lot of wasteful spending.
Mm-hmm.
Every 6 months, we hear the same story about, oh, we don't have money to pay our soldiers. We don't have money to finance Social Security. You know, this is sad because when people work, and I've been working for 60 years, and I've amassed a lot of Social Security, and it's come back to me in small drabs. It's called a retirement plan. They take your money, they do not pay interest on that money. They use that interest to finance their government. They also use that money to finance the government. And it's silly things like CPS. It doesn't cost $20,000 a child. Billions of dollars is sent to the state, and millions of dollars is sent to the county. And they are making $1 trillion business. So what you're up against is people. Right now in Richmond, Kentucky, the cabinet is being investigated because the federal government wants to know what happened to the $1 million they sent. They found one social worker has embezzled $400,000. People are embezzling money within the government. People are at home not doing any job or any work. They're paying people that are 150 years old still $10,000 a month, like a woman who does. And I'm not trying to pick on women, that's not there, but there was a case on TikTok. She was making so much money in TikTok, and she was getting $10,000 a month for food stamps. So there is corruptness going on, and that's what's wrong with CPS.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have a structure. They need to have a board of directors or supervisors that watch over them, that report to them what they're doing. They need to manage the money. They need to be transparent. They need to follow the laws. The laws were made in 1974. They've been updated over the years. I've looked at them all. But it took them to 1974. They've been worried about children since the 1600s. Over 300 years right now, our children have been abused. Yes, they're abused. Yes, they're neglected. But today, over 1,000 people every day go unreported. They're chasing down the hardworking people that maybe have a hiccup, or maybe they lost a job, or maybe the price has gone up. Right now, prices are ridiculous. Everybody says eggs are coming down. My eggs are still $10 a dozen large eggs at the grocery store. I'm paying $7 to $8 a gallon of milk. My gasoline is coming down, but it was down before Trump was aboard. It was down at $3.75. It's now at $3.99. It went up to $4.25 just a week ago. So it goes down slowly, it comes up fast. So people are really hurting. They're really hurting for money. And, their paychecks, I forgot how many people are at what they call the poverty level. It takes two people to work to make a living, to pay your rent, your home, your mortgage. And a disaster like CPS can kill people. So many people have given up. It's so hard to have a child you created because it's proven that the best parents are the biological parents. The biological parents, the best parents to raise children. And Now have you called in? Have you and I talked before? Because your
Just
case sounds familiar.
yeah, just briefly, but your show was ending,
Oh,
and
okay. There's
yeah.
another lady in Fresno that
Hmm.
is trying to get her two children back. What is the
Whoa, whoa!
what?
We just had an earthquake.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay.
Whoa!
What place are you in California?
I'm in Oakland.
Okay, I'm down here in Surf City, USA, in Southern California. I
Yeah,
felt no.
excuse me,
No,
sir.
okay.
The
Yeah.
house really shook. Whoa.
Okay. Well, there are earthquakes in California,
Hmm.
and I hope you're all right. Nothing fell on you, right?
No, no, I'm used to them, but when they come, they come. You have to take a moment to acknowledge it. I just feel okay. My husband just came to. Yeah, I just felt the earthquake. I'm talking to the guy right now about our children's case.
Oh,
Okay, excuse me, sir.
that's okay. Good evening.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um,
Okay, I'm listening.
I trying to find out what the connection between Alameda County and Fresno.
Well, see, I'm in Alameda County, and my grandchildren are up in Fresno.
Now, were they born in Fresno?
They were um they were they were born in that county, not exactly Fresno, but in that county.
The
And my
current county. The current county.
I'm not exactly sure. I would have to pull out their birth certificates to see, but they were in that region. And see, what happened was my daughter husband passed, and my daughter have some mental health issues, and it's been hard for her to deal with four children on her own, and all. And what's astounding, the lady that has my grandchildren, she has three of her own children, and she's dealing with seven kids on her own. And she her and my daughter have a real volatile relationship, so sometimes she pays my daughter to watch her own children. Just depends on how she feels. And what I never heard of a situation where a a, a person, she wasn't even licensed as a foster care mother, and they allowed her to do the fingerprinting and all of that while the children were living there. But as the parent, as the grandparents, we wasn't given that consideration at all.
Okay.
At
Okay.
all. And what one thing that they try to do is they try to discourage us from going to court. They'll lie about the court dates, but we always call the clerk, and they will tell us the days to go to court. um, and all. And I drive 448 miles round trip to go to court. That's how dedicated we are. My husband is there, and my ex-husband is there. You don't see that. You don't see families
No,
doing that.
I agree like that. Hold on
Mhm.
one second. I need to recognize again Stephen Bertista. He came in when I first started my podcast. I said hello and welcome to the live stream when I first turned on. I had taken him down to make room for some of my banners.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'm just re emphasizing hello, Stephen. You're a new member to YouTube, and I did welcome you. I did say hello at the very part of the show. I also need to catch up with some of my guests. We
Okay.
have Liliana, who's been talking to me, Margaret King, who's coming down to see Mr. Davis. There's Livingston Mystery, who is actually Vincent Davis is helping him. There is Josephine. Glad to see you. There is Macmillan, and you're in a court appointed. How this happened? You know, court appointed attorneys are hard things to deal with because they're not trained, and they are saddled with so many cases. And my daughter is 22. I lost her at 12, and only my sons visit my daughter. I have no idea how she's doing, and it's a sad thing when that happens. Now we have the True Royal family. Welcome back, and hi, Kimberly. That's a different Kimberly, right?
No, this is the same person.
Then I do remember the True Royal family. Yes.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Yes, I do. And Meekin, and um, I've not seen my daughter. I pray every night on that. Mr. PP, buddy, good evening. Welcome. You've been on before. Josephine, I'm trying to catch up with all your questions because I've been dealing with the True Royal family here. With her case is in Fresno. Now, I've said hello to everybody. I think I've caught up. We have about, um, we still have about 20 more minutes
Okay.
or 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Now, you have a daughter. Now, this daughter had all four children.
Yeah, she had all four of her children, and what she did was she physically gave her children to this lady that she knew, and it just happened that her children went to the same elementary school that my grandchildren went to. And my daughter just couldn't mentally deal with her children. When we found out about it immediately, actually, her father found out about it, and the first court date, he was right there, right there. So it was like the family's been involved in this day one. And then when we had other court appearances, then that's when I showed up, my ex-husband and my husband, we showed up. Nobody, we never missed court. And so they told me that I had to go through that whole process of getting, getting scanned, fingerprinted, getting the house ready to have, have the kids and all that stuff come, stay here with us. So that's what we did, because it just turned out that we have a really big house. And so we could accommodate 4 children. And
Now, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
What about the father? Where's the father involved with the 4 children?
That's what I was trying to say. The father had passed. He had died.
Okay, so when he died, was the 4 kids the same biological father?
Yes.
Now,
yes.
why did not the daughter ask for help from family members to put the children? I mean, what was she cited for? Neglect or abuse or both?
They never said what she was cited for. That part we don't know, sir. All we know is that my daughter had a habit of giving her children to different people in the church. She's very connected with the church. And so she was giving her children away to different people in the church. And it just turned out this round, when she had a breakdown, she gave her children to a lady that she befriended, because my granddaughter and her daughter were in the same classroom, and she befriended this woman, and she just said she couldn't deal with it mentally. And so we were, like I said, we knew everything that was going on immediately. And the way that they treated us is like we wasn't family. They gave this woman all this consideration, and I had never heard of a situation where you could just give the kids to another person, and then you give them a chance to get fingerprinted, get their house inspected, and all, while the kids were there. She was not a licensed foster care mother after the fact. And so we went through the whole process, and the CPS worker flatly refused to grant my husband an exemption. And he said it's a long out process. He said it twice. And he said, what's the big deal? The kid's been with this lady long enough, this long. Now, in the meantime, she's calling me saying it's called dealing with 7 kids. Because she works, plus she's dealing with 7 children. And she tells me it's a lot, but she likes the money that she is getting. I know what it is. People get into this stuff for money. I'm not saying at first she got in it for money. She just, this situation was thrown on her. But CPS sabotage us every time we go to court. Because the last time I went to court, they granted her guardianship. And what was odd about this last time I went to court, CPS didn't even show up. They would always be there. She wasn't even there. They had her via Zoom. The attorney that I have, they would not allow him in to represent me. And they have done this on 2 occasions. And I said, why y'all won't let my attorney in? And they said, well, you don't have the right attorney. And we made damn sure we had the right attorney. And now the attorney, he seems like he's afraid to do anything, because I don't think
is he a court-appointed attorney?
No, sir. He's a juvenile. He's a juvenile dependency lawyer. I made sure we got the right type of lawyer.
Has he ever fought CPS?
Yes, he has.
Good. Mm-hmm. And he's gotten children back. That's good.
Yes, he
has.
Now,
Margaret King, who's in the room, asked a quick question.
Yes, sir.
She knows I'm getting close to the end. She says, how do you become a gold member? You call 888-6582. Tell them that Bob Pace sent you and ask them that you want to become a gold member. Ask them you can become a gold member. It's 888-6582, Margaret. I haven't forgotten you. And Milim, she is saying you are angels, Kimry. Your families are angels. And your family will be in my prayers. She's praying for you. Hello, Turin. I've not forgotten you, Turin. We have a guest tonight that I've been talking to. And you're welcome, Margaret. You're welcome, Margaret.
Somebody asked a quick question why my daughter didn't give me the children. My daughter doesn't like me, and she doesn't want me to have the children. She doesn't want anyone to have the children. She don't even want the lady she gave the children to have the children.
Does she want the children?
Sometimes she wants them and sometimes she don't.
Okay.
She goes back and forth.
Well, she's setting herself up for CPS to make lots of money off your granddaughter. Have you got the book from Mr. Davis that's a new book out called The Grandparents Guide of California for Step-to-Step How to Get Guardianship of Your Grandchildren? Have you gotten that book yet, Kimberly?
No, but I'll purchase it.
It's $9.99, but right now you get it half off if you use my discount code of PACE, P-A-C-E, all capital letters, 50. You call into the number 888-CE, all cap, 50. And it's $9.99, but you get it half off if you use that code. And it's the Grandparents Guide, step-by-step, of how to adopt your grandchildren. And it's an excellent guidebook. I know some of the people in this room have it, and it's really, really, really good. Now, you can get it by calling that number, 888-6582, or you can go to another website. It's the Sand Store, and all of you, I'll put that up. It's on the bottom of my screen. It's Stan, STAN store, STORE, /attorney VWD. That is a resource of information in there. Don't forget to put the HTTP://. But that can help you out there.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I know it's time to get off. It's 8:00.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be wrapping it up. But thank you so much, Kimberly. Please call me another time. I'd love to have you. By the way, do you want to have a 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis on a Zoom conference?
Yes, I would like that.
Okay, all you need to do, do you have my phone number?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you dial the 626. You text me your full name, and you text me your email and your phone number, and I'll get you in touch with Grace, and she'll set you up for a private 15-minute, no-charge consultation, Mr. Davis, and you can ask him all those questions.
Okay, now, I sure will.
Yeah. Minlim, you asked me what the benefits of the gold. You need to call that number. Because it's a new thing, the gold membership, and I don't know it is either. Now, we are now wrapping up the show. Again, I want to thank all of you for calling in. I want to first start off with our new member. That was Sean Bulletin. Thank you very much for being in the room. I hope you come back again. Also, I want to thank Liliana for calling in, Yashuf, Livingston Ministry, Margaret King, Josephine, Migla Kim, Liliana. I got that. The True Royal family, which is Kimberly, and then Mr. Pepe coming in, and I've already said Josephine. Then the Rule family. Who else I left? Oh, Taren. Welcome, Tren. I was really glad to you. All of you, please join me tomorrow night. I'll be on, tomorrow morning. I'll be on at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So God bless y'all. Please don't forget to keep fighting for your children. This is Bob Pace saying good night.